I play football. They say, oh, you play lingerie? Or what do you play? Flag, powder puff? What is it you play? No, I play full tackle, NFL rules, full pads, contact, football.
We're seeing more women break barriers in the world of sports. A new documentary called Open Field is showcasing how women are making a name for themselves in football, a sport that has long been a man's world. Kathy Kuras is director behind the feature documentary film, and she's also the YMCA of Austin's first woman president and CEO. That's in the history there. And she's also a Marine Corps vet. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Why did you decide to make the documentary?
Well, I learned that women were playing football, and there's over 60 teams in the United States. There's teams growing throughout the world. We've had 3 Team USAs who've won gold at a world championship, but hardly anyone knew about it. So it really came down to just wanting to raise awareness of women playing the sport of football.
What do you think is missing for women in sports these days?
Well, I think, it first starts with access, and sometimes that can start at an early age. So having access to a variety of sports. And then especially as young girls get older, that access sort of shrinks in middle school, in high school, in college for many, and in pro or semi-pro sports, especially in the case of access to playing football. So I think having access and really opening that up for young girls and women is really critical. And then secondly is having support to help drive awareness, having good strong partnerships with organizations and sponsors to help also drive awareness and bring an audience to women playing sports. So I would say it's this access piece and this piece around support.
I got to be honest, I'm a mom of boys, and so it's a challenge, I think, for those of us who have boys to have girls come into these sports, especially a sport like football, where we're teaching our boys to not be aggressive against young ladies. So what is that balance there for us, really for all the sexes, to be able to do this?
Sure. Well, I think, what it comes down to, as I've spoken with young girls and women playing, particularly the sport of football, is they have the same reasons that they want to play the sport that the boys want to play the sport. They really love the game of football. And oftentimes they love the high stakes of the game too. And I think, to be as inclusive as we can with, kids and adults of all genders to have access to sports, I think is really, really important. And if you think about sports, it gives an opportunity to get out some of that energy and some of that aggressiveness that in many cases can help us sort of balance our lives as well.
You're in this role here at the YMCA in Austin, the first female president and CEO. Why is that important to have someone like you in that position?
Well, I think anytime someone's a first in a role, it's important because it lets people know that it's possible and that then I won't be the last. So I think anytime that you come into being a first in anything where there hasn't been someone who either looks like you or who whatever community you may be coming from, I think it's very important to show members of that community what the possibilities are.
Kathy Kuras, we appreciate you joining us today. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
That documentary again called Open Field, so be sure to check that out.